Voor de mensen die van een ijskoude latte met 3 shotjes vanille, schuim van magere melk, sojamelk en die super schattige gekleurde hageltjes houden, deze is voor jullie. Met Premium kun je zo kieskeurig zijn als je maar wilt. Speel het nummer af dat je wilt, wanneer je maar wilt. En sla gerust nummers over. Het is de perfecte manier om jezelf op te fleuren. Krijg je eerste 3 maanden Premium nu voor slechts 99 cent. Maar wees snel, de deal is niet lang meer geldig.
Right, guys. Um, as you can see, we have a game launching, and I'm guessing it will mostly be players in the silver tier, but I'm not much above that at the moment. Only a few points is enough actually to go up in the ranking. Number one is in the platinum tier. Then there's quite a big gap and lots of players with only a few points difference. So between second place and like 20th placed, it's not that much of a difference at the moment. So I could go up pretty high with just one victory, but it depends on the opposition. And yeah, as you can see, they're all silver players, except for the guy who just folded. He is a provisional player. A7, okay. Last time I played a bit too aggressive and too crazy. I'm gonna be a bit more conservative this time. I was perhaps a bit overconfident. Because sometimes people are just really bluffing, and normally I'm relatively good at catching someone on a bluff and calling with a decent hand but not a great one and still win because I caught their bluff. But last time I lost a few hands like that against an enemy who had a better hand than me. So and I really didn't have to risk that many chips at that point in time, so it was a bit of a rushed thing. So I'm gonna play a bit more conservative and don't go betting too many chips with nothing or with a mediocre hand. There could be a flush, so yeah, are we going to bet? We did catch a pair of sevens, we have a good kicker, but someone will probably have a queen or a 10, someone might have a flush, let's just throw them away. Get an early chip lead, yeah, but that can work both ways, Maisie, because if you want an early chip lead, you need to be aggressive, and that's okay if you get some good cards early on, because then you can go aggressive, but going aggressive if you don't have good cards can backfire and put you in the last position instead of the first. So let's just put in a race, shall we? We do have a paired hand. At least when that flop comes there will be something in the pot, because otherwise it's just a very small pot and players are more inclined to just fold on the flop if they don't get anything decent. So let's hope someone will call. A lot of players, when they have a good hand, they won't actually raise. They tend to slow play it, and then they get beaten by someone catching a flush or a straight. Right, this guy raised to 1k. Now he's a very good heads-up player, but in the normal tourneys he's not doing as great. But 1k is quite a lot. I need to put in 650. Let's go. Let's try. I'm not gonna raise it. Let's hope we get a three of a kind. And we don't. So I'm gonna just check and see if he's gonna raise. But he's gonna bet and I'm gonna fold. Yeah, there he goes. 2k. We don't even have a flush draw, so if we would have a flush draw, I might have called that. And even, yeah, with a paired hand, I would still need 2 cards to catch my flush. Now you could say that perhaps I shouldn't have called in the first place, because I didn't quite have the odds. If he really has like a high pair, which he should have if he raises, or re-raises at least. Although it's possible that he has something like ace-king or ace-queen. It's more likely that he has pocket aces, pocket kings, maybe pocket queens. So calling with a pair of fives, that means that you need to catch a third five. There's only 2 fives left in the deck, so yeah, in a deck with 50 cards, 2 fives, that means every card drawn only has like a 4% chance to be a 5. So on the flop, that means that you have maybe 10% or something. I'm not that good at calculating odds, but I don't think it's important to be very precise in that, just especially in tournaments. So yeah, that means that I would have to be able to win back 10 times what I had to pay to get in that pot. That means if I caught my trip fives, I would need to get at least 6,500 chips, because I had to pay 650. That's quite a lot. On the other hand, if I had caught a 3 of a kind on the flop, it's quite possible that I could have gotten him to go that far, because he was betting heavily. If he had a top pair, then I would have beaten him with a 3 of a kind, and he might have gone very far to stay in that pot. So playing my cards right, I could have gotten 6,500 or maybe even all of them. If I had gone all in, he might have called. So you can justify the call. The thing is it smart to do it at this point in time? Because I don't need to win a big pot now. It's more important to just stay in the game and don't lose too many chips. Yeah, I think it was faster. It went pretty quickly all of a sudden. It stayed at 2.6 for long. But I also saw that someone posted, there is a Steam group where you can announce when you are queuing for a ranked game. And I saw someone put the game up there, so that attracts others to join. So that might have helped. And the time of day, maybe Saturday is better than Friday, I don't know. So yeah, I definitely have the feeling as well that we haven't waited as long as we had to do last time. Oh no, it was not Friday. Was it Wednesday that I last streamed? Anyway, welcome to Tai. So for the moment we are down to the last position. Yeah, not that I mind. Between 11k and yeah, we're pretty much at 9k, 11k or 9k. That's not a big deal. It does mean if we go all in, no matter who we go all in against, if we lose, we're eliminated. But people rarely go all in. Or they do, but not pre-flop. Or they do it only when they are getting really low on chips, which by itself is a good strategy, because I do that as well. But at this point in time, with blinds still being very small compared to the size of the pot, I don't see any reason to do that. Lower the volume of the music a bit. If you notice the mix is bad, please do mention it to me, because I don't always pay attention to that. If the music's too loud compared to my voice, or too quiet. I don't use the in-game music because it's very repetitive. It's not bad, but it's very repetitive. When I play alone, I usually put on some jazz music, jazz piano music. But yeah, those jazz playlists I have on Spotify, I can't use them in the stream because otherwise the replay would have no sound. No, it was me, Thoroughly, it was me. I did post it on Discord. But I didn't start the stream straight away, or I started the stream, but it just had a welcome screen. Last time I actually activated my cam and showed the game while I was still queuing for a game. While this time I actually kept the waiting screen until the game was actually loading. And all in all, I don't think the waiting screen has been up for that long, maybe 10-15 minutes. So yeah, I think it was shorter than last time. Ace Queen, let's raise it up, shall we? $350, so even if they all fold, we still get $350. But I think probably someone will call. Aha, Ace is calling. This guy is always in the game. Almost every game I play, he is in there. It's very curious that he's such a high rank in head-to-head, but not in normal ranked. Oh crap. This is not a good flop. And we have 3 other people. Oh boy. I regret not having raised it higher. I'm gonna check. Because with 3 others, someone will have hit something most likely. Yeah, it was quite a long time last time. I have a feeling someone is waiting to raise it. I'm gonna bet 1,000. I'm not gonna bet any more than that, and they're probably all gonna call. If someone raises, at least I know I can get out of this spot without risking more. Okay, he folds. That's 1 less, but we're probably up against a pair of kings. Yeah, trip kings even. I don't even have a pair, or well, we have a pair of 4s, but that's quite a small bet. But Ace might raise because he's still after us. Ah, this is a tough call. I'm gonna call. And let's hope he doesn't raise. He folds. Yeah, he's got a king. Of course. It was very likely. Very bad flop, especially with 3 other players. King 2 of all sakes. That's not a hand you use to call a raise. King 2. Quite frankly, that's one of the worst possible hands, because you have a king, but what if you hit king? If you hit a pair of kings or a pair of kings, then your kicker's so bad that if anyone else also has a king, you're gonna lose. Unless you also hit a 2. But yeah, you don't have odds to get that. After you got through the tutorial, you had a funny moment against henchmen. Oh, the Payday 2? Are you talking Payday 2, Frolia? Oh, nah. It's the wrong red suit. I thought we had a flush draw, but we do have a pair. We are getting low on chips already. Ah, crap. And he's raising it big. I do have a pair of 4s, but nah, I'm not gonna invest in this pot any further. I must avoid risks now. Play it safe. But yeah, King 2 Maisie, exactly, that's a bullshit hand to call a raise with. Let's not forget I also was in a good position, because I was on the button, I believe. So yeah, on the button with Ace Queen. Probably the best play would have been to raise harder after that flop, because they didn't know what I have. but most likely the king 2 guy would have called anyway with his pair of kings, because he obviously doesn't. Oh, I wish I had called. I so wish I had called. Oh man. And he's got a straight, but I would have had a better straight with that 7. I wish I had called, but on the other hand, it would have been a bad play. That's why it's gambling? No, it's not gambling. It's totally not gambling. It's making the right decisions. And the right decision normally would have been to bet on that flop. With my ace queen, because I had raised it, the others just called, so normally you just do a continuation bet on the flop and show that you are still strong, and then hope nobody raises you. And if they do, you have to see if you believe that they have something better or not. But very often when you then continue to bet on the flop, people just take you seriously and they just fold. But I didn't do that, so I showed weakness on the flop, and that guy had a king, so he made a pair of kings. So because I was showing weakness, he started feeling strong and bet. But you don't know how he would have acted, because the thing is, he's just not a very good player, it seems. Let's look at their ratings. 1001, 1010, 1025 and 1041. So that's quite a lot lower than my 1116, which was 1180 or 68 last time before the stream. The provisional guy over here is more of a question mark. We don't know how good he is. In solo play, do you play? I don't play poker in solo play, Ferolia. The AI can't possibly play poker, and part of poker is reading your opponents, and you can't do that against an AI. So I definitely don't play solo poker. It's the same. What if the AI bets? Is he bluffing or not? I mean, against a human player, that's psychology and reading their behavior and trying to predict whether they're bluffing or not. But against an AI, that's just, yeah, a certain chance that they're bluffing. There's no reading the AI, I guess. Unless it's so badly programmed that it's obvious, but then I certainly wouldn't play it, because then there's absolutely no challenge involved. Yeah, I can see that. You could do it for practice, for instance. I can see that when you don't have players online, but otherwise I prefer to play against bad players than to play against an AI. And again, not a good flop. And this time I'm going to put in a bet. With those pair of fives, they might think I have trips and just fold. And I can use the chips. If they don't, I haven't lost that much. Okay, oh, he raises? Crap. He probably has an 8. I'm pretty sure the guy has an 8. Anyway, I don't have anything yet, so I'm not gonna call it. I might draw an ace, but... And I don't know about this guy, because he could... The other guy could have maybe have a 5. If he had a 5, he wouldn't have raised. I don't think he would have raised. Yeah, and now he checks. No way. And of course, the 7. Oh man, I'm doing really badly when I play when streaming. Oh, he's got an 8. And he's got a pair of 9s? Oh my god. I mean, a pair of 9s with a pair of 5s on the flop, that means if someone has a 5, they beat you. So that's not a hand you raise with. So he is overconfident about his hands. But since I don't get anything on those flops, I can't punish him for it. I need a good hand now to get something done here. He's got 16k chips almost. The guy next to me is also low on chips. Yeah, he should never have called with that pair of 8s. Not a very good player either. Well, I shouldn't be looking down on them too much because I haven't been doing greatly myself. That also goes for this game. But I've come back from way worse situations, so nothing lost. 4.5k chips is still enough to win the game. But we're gonna have to play it more conservative. It's getting warm again. Just like last time. I'm guessing I'm not the only one who has warm weather. At least I still have my drink. Check 5. Anyway, having a hand like Jack 5 and calling is fine, because you do have enough implied odds to even catch a good hand with that. So as long as these blinds are 150, 300, you can argue that it's good to see some flops with pretty much any hand you have. And otherwise, oh, 1.35k. Right, this is a time to go all in, guys. Ace Queen. Either someone calls and we have a good hand, or they all fold and we grab 1.5. This guy's gonna call. He's got a lot of chips and... yeah, he's gonna call. I knew it. And the others will fold. Yeah. Let's see what he has. Ace 8? Seriously? Okay. We just go back to 10k. That's my guess. Unless he's very lucky and grabs an 8. We also have a straight draw now. Yeah, we got it. 10k. We're back in business. And he's gone back to 11k, so the game has gone back to pretty much where we started, really. It's now these two here at the right who have got a little bit more, and the other two at the left have a little bit less. 7-7. Not gonna raise. Let's just call and hope we catch a three of a kind and then see if we can create some fireworks. 26 in your room. I think that's pretty likely the same over here. 6. If only that had been a 7. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more than 26, because I'm in the attic, I'm just under the roof, and it's very well isolated here, and that means it tends to heat up pretty quickly. Oh, crap. Bet raise. We know he's a bad player, but still, with a pair of 7s, I don't feel comfortable calling that. Because he might raise it again. If I call and he has something decent, he's gonna go all in maybe. I'm gonna fold. No matter how hard it is to fold a paired hand. And if that 7 falls, I'm gonna regret it. But if I had an overpair, I might have called that, but with that jack on the table, yeah, it's too risky. Because one of them will have a pair of jacks at least. And I wouldn't put 2k chips in that with just a very small chance to catch another 7. So that was not worth the risk. Although if I would have caught that 7, I would have been able to extract quite a lot of chips there, but we didn't need those chips to be in the game. And winning them wouldn't be any guarantee that we win the tourney. We would be the big stag then, but it wouldn't guarantee winning the tourney, but losing those 2k chips would put me back in last position, I think, or second to last. Oh wait, he's also gone down to 9k? Yeah. Well, while we're waiting, let's just refill everyone's table item then. I don't know how it's possible, but it feels warmer now here in this room than during the day, which doesn't make much sense. Rough Razorback has also refilled everyone, or at least mine. Thank you very much. So then you get more experience, you get reputation as a reward. And those stable items give everyone some reputation. But it cost me some chips to do that refill. Not chips from inside a tourney, but my bankroll outside of it. Jack 8. Well, let's just call for a change. One called it. What hand did they have? Was it a hand with which you can call an all-in bet? All-in bets at the start of the game are always very tricky. We do have a very long ball straight flush draw there. With that ace 8 of hearts. But a 1.4k bet. I'm gonna call, because there's still a lot of players in the game. There's quite a bit of chips that we can potentially win here. We still have a flush draw and a straight draw and a straight flush draw. We still need 2 cards either way, but if that turn comes and it turns out to be a heart or a 5 or the 5 of hearts, then we're in a good position. Yeah, I got those achievements as well. The one without looking at the cards, I got it late game in a Heads Up game, I believe, where the blinds were getting so high that you had to raise no matter what. So I went all in without looking at my cards. That was an ideal moment to get it, because you had to go. Oh, he had ace 8. God damn it. So yeah, at one point in time, especially in head-to-head, where you have to be very aggressive, you tend to, when you are not on the blind, you tend to just raise very often to pick up the other player's blind, and they don't have odds to call you. So especially when the blinds go up and up and up, you need to be aggressive to make a chance to win. Otherwise, the other player continuously picks up your blind, and you start to get small on chips just by letting the other do those raises. So that's an ideal moment to pick up that achievement. The other one with the blackjack, I think I got it just by sheer luck. Because I don't think you can actually do much except for stay in a hand to try and get it, where you otherwise might consider folding. Wait, where's the... Oh, I'm in the big blind? Okay, let's check then. $4-2. Oh, I thought I had 4-2. I have 4-3. Okay, but I'm still gonna make a bet here. 900. Because this is a very bad flop for most decent hands. Most hands that people would play with, they don't benefit at all from a flop like this. Exactly. So this is an easy one to pick up. And thank you, Lazy Bacon, for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I usually play indie games, strategy games, but I'm also much into poker. And I've lately started streaming Prominence Poker because it's a game that's pretty relaxing to stream. It's easy to combine playing this game with the streaming of it. 6-3. Yeah, not on the small blind. No, we won't. Wait, how did I go back to 8.7k? Didn't I just pick up a big pot? Well, big, a 1.2k pot. And I was at 10k chips. Confused. Where did I lose those chips? Yeah, I did spend. I remember the straight flush draw. That was quite a sizable bet on the flop, right? That probably was a bit of a bad decision. Because yeah, I had a straight draw, flush draw, and even a straight flush draw, but I still needed 2 cards, so it's a bit of a stretch to consider that a decent hand. Alright. Haven't had any really decent hands yet, haven't we? The best I've had so far was maybe a pair. I don't think I've had a 2-pair yet in this game. Right. One of the biggest tells in online poker, since you can't really see people's face, there are other tells to see if they are bluffing or not. One of the best indicators in online games is, since you can't see them in person, the biggest tell is how long they think before they act. But at the same time, quite a few people are aware of that and will deliberately take longer to act on every move, so that when they actually are thinking longer, you don't really notice that. So that's why you often see some of those people, and some are overdoing that, but you often see like people who really spend like their entire timer on each and every betting round, and then they're all gonna fold. Okay, easy pot. I'm just gonna tease them a little by showing my hand. Maisie does it in Chaos Reborn, exactly, Mosty, exactly. Timing tells. The thing is that waiting till the end of your turn to cast an illusion in Chaos Reborn, I don't think that helps very much. Or Jack 10. I'm gonna raise it. No, I'm just gonna call. Wait 1 minute and 55 and then cast a fake dragon. Since you thought so long about it, they will assume it's not an illusion. Oh! We have a pair, we have a straight draw, we have a very long flush draw, and we even have a straight flush draw on top of that, although that one is pretty far-fetched. Okay, let's bet. This is more of a semi-bluff. We have something, but it's not that great. But it could improve, so we still have lots of outs to go further than that pair of tens. So even if someone calls, the only issue if someone raises, if someone goes all in now, I am gonna have a very tough call. He calls. Okay, let's see. Haha, excellent. The only thing that he will beat me with is a pair of queens or a pair of aces. I'm just gonna check on this one. If I then bet on the river, he's not gonna suspect me anymore. Or at least I hope. Let's just go all in. And see. He might have a better kicker with an ace, with a 10, but I doubt it. Well, still a good, decent pot here. An egg timer animation. Casting illusion in Chaos Reborn. You know Chaos Reborn, Ferolia. Or you meant it as a joke that you never cast illusions, so to speak? I think I played that pretty nicely with my raise. Although I was lucky to catch another 10, but I had a lot of other outs. Could have easily gotten a straight as well, or a 2-pair. Or even a straight flush, who knows? Although you rarely see those. Having a chance to hit a straight flush is not really a good a reason to actually call bets, because it's always a small chance. But of course, if you have a straight flush draw, that implies that you also have a straight or a flush and a flush draw as well, or even hit your straight or flush already. So we're in first position now. 17k. Two players with 11.65k, and then 3 players around 6-7k. Well, that's good. We only have 1 player who is really... Oh, not even. 2 of those players have less than... 3 of those players, sorry, have only 1/3 of our chips. And the 2 others have, well, somewhat more than half our chips. That means we're already in a pretty strong position, and unless you misclick. Okay, would have hit a flush there, but probably someone else will have a better one either way. This is the game to win with a full house. If you have a pair of tens or something. Oh, he's got an 8. And he doesn't... What? Oh, he's got a straight. Yeah, he's got a straight. Oh my god, both of them betting with a 3 of a kind and a straight when there are 4 spades on the table. I mean, read the table, guys. If you don't have a flop when there are 4 cards of the same suit on the table, then you shouldn't bet. Unless, yeah, okay, you can say it's like a semi-bluff. You can pretend to have a flush, and if someone calls you, at least you have something decent, but you don't have the flush. But still, it's just way too likely that someone will have hit the flush. It's so likely if there are 4 suited cards that someone will have another card of that suit, that if you don't have a flush, your hand is so weak, you should just not bet. Just check. And if the other person checks as well, you might still pick up that pot, but you don't go betting 3k when you only have 10k. Another one like that. 4 spades. A fish table, yeah. I wouldn't exactly say a fish table, because they're not just typical for a fish is that they call bets with nothing and hoping they'll catch something without even considering their odds. But here they're not even calling bets, they're just even betting with something that is normally a decent hand, but if you look at the table, you just know that it's not a good hand in that situation. They just don't see the context. They just see the strength of their own hand and not what the table offers, if you know what I mean. That's not just fish behavior, that's just lack of understanding the game. Oh my god, they're all gonna fold when I have a pair of jacks? Okay, let's raise it up on this guy then. 2.7. Yeah, that's 3. That's also very confusing because I had already bet 300 because I was the small blind. I'm just gonna show my hand here and show some strength. Take me serious next time, because when I raise, I always have strong cards. So next time when I raise with ace 8, they're just gonna fold and I'm gonna pick up the blinds. That's the awareness as well that I'm trying to create. Doesn't always work when you have bad players, because they don't really consider how you act or remember it. Against decent players, I see there are 3 different strategies to it. Either you always show that you truthfully bet according to your strength. So every time when they see your hands after you've bet, you want to show that you actually had something decent, and so people will take you seriously. And if you can then later use that to grab pots where you don't have anything, because they think when you bet that you're normally in a position of strength. So as long as you don't exaggerate it, you can grab pots without having a decent hand. And the opposite is like really getting caught bluffing, or when you win a pot with a bluff, just show your hands and tease them and show them that you really didn't have anything, and then they will stop taking you seriously. And the next time when you really have a good hand, you also do the same thing. You bet it hard, and they will not believe you, and they call you, and they bet a lot of chips, but you do have a strong hand when that big pot's concerned. That's the opposite a bit. And the third strategy I see is to mix it up to become unpredictable. So since they see that sometimes you do it, sometimes you bluff, sometimes you're really strong, there's no pattern, so they really won't know what to think. 7-2. I'm gonna bet with 7-2, and let's see if they all fold. Last time I raised, I had Jack-Jack, so fold, fold, fold. He's gonna call. Okay, we have one call. Right. This most likely hasn't helped him. He's gonna bet? What? Okay, tricky. If he had checked, I would have betted, but... Nah, let's get out of this spot. Yeah, I also think that the ability to show cards, and in prominence poker you can actually, well, so others have that too, but not all, you can also show one of your two cards. So that leaves them betting, but not entirely. Like when there is a straight draw on the table and you have one of the two cards required to have that straight, so you just show that one. They don't know if you actually had that straight. Or if you bet with a top pair and a good kicker, I mean, you could have had a three of a kind. They don't know because you only show one of the two cards. It's a very powerful means of deception and trickery. This is normally what you do if you have a three of a kind. You bet it. Although people will interpret that differently with bad players because they tend to slow play when they have a three of a kind. And he's betting now. Okay, let's just call. Let's see what he does now on the river. A 7. There's a possible straight and a flush, so I'm not gonna bet. Because he might raise me. He's got a 2 pair, damn it. If I had bet it, he might have folded due to that straight and flush draw. But... oh well. I found it weird that he bet on the turn. But he went from 1 pair to 2 pair. That explains it. And I should have probably read that better. I think that's one of the things, due to the fact that I'm also talking and explaining and talking strategy. I may be paying a bit less attention than when I'm just playing. But I'm not gonna use it as an excuse. Damn it. Yeah, just let's call. Because it's a 1k big blind already. Oh, but on second thought, it was a stupid idea because it's a small pot. So the risk is big that he's gonna raise it all in. So I shouldn't have called. I should have just folded. But another means of deception. Already showing what you are going to do before it's your turn. He might have pretended weakness by already showing that he was going to check. Okay, I'm gonna bet something, but not much. 1k. Someone with a 3 of a kind would bet 1k in these kind of games. Now the question is he going to re-raise? I do have a pair of trees as well. He just folds. I'm just not gonna show anything here. I think I'm more and more I'm going to get an image of being a bluffer and someone who plays with nothing. Because my image of strength is definitely gone now. So I might switch to the opposite, and I think that's one thing you should be aware of your own image. That's more important than reading the others. Being aware how people see you, and I'm on the button, but Queen 2, no way. Let's get rid of this. 12.5. So we now have these two at the right who've passed me. That's the other two are small stacks, and I'm glad I didn't put money in that pot because he raised. And that's another thing, situational awareness, looking at the chip stacks compared to the blinds. You know that he only has 4k chips left, and with a 1k big blind, that means that if he can grab the blinds, he like adds 50% to his chip stack. So that's very significant. That means that if he senses that nobody has something really great, and he has something like here, ace 9, you know he's gonna go all in. And it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. I would have done exactly the same in that situation. It's different when we're at the start of the table and you don't know what the people after you have, but he was on the small blind. Everyone else before him had either folded or just called. There was a lot of money in that pot already. And he went to 9.7k. Yeah. So very good job. And that's why you don't want, at the start of the game, you want to just call a lot and get into those spots. The blinds are small, so you want to see a lot of flops, hopefully catch something really nice in one of them and grab some chips. But when the blinds start to go up like that and some people start to get a small stack, you really don't want to call on in every round pre-flop when there are some of these smaller chip stacks behind you, because chances are they are going to raise it if the more and more money there is in the pot. If you raise, it's a different situation because they might not risk it, but if everyone just calls, they're gonna try their luck. Okay, this time I am gonna call because I have a pair of 8s. And let's hope that someone goes all in now with a mediocre hand. And if everyone calls, then we could grab a very big pot if we catch another 8. Another tell here is when you look at your cards. So you can deliberately, even if you know that you have ace, pocket aces, you can deliberately look at your cards to pretend that you'd have to check what you had again. Or the other way around, remember, and that's why it's important to memorize, oh, we have an inside straight flush draw, we have a flush draw, we have a straight draw, and we have a pair of 8s. So this time I'm going to bet 5k. They're all showing weakness, so I'm really curious if anyone is gonna call this one. And they all fold. And this time I'm gonna show just the 8 of spades. They'll never know if I had that straight flush. But they also don't know that I had a pair on top, so I'm reinforcing the image that I'm betting with a drawing hand. Because they won't believe I actually had that straight flush, or I would have probably shown it entirely and not just that 8 of spades. So they probably think now that I was just betting hard with just a drawing hand, while I actually did have a pair. So it's not that I didn't have anything yet. But they don't know that. Queen 7 of diamonds. Okay, let's just check. Not good enough to raise. 2 diamonds. Okay, but if we bet now, they might guess that I am on a drawing hand. I often bet with a drawing hand, because it's better than to just keep calling and hope you'll catch your draw. But since I just gave myself the image of betting with a drawing hand, they might be onto me. I'm gonna bet now, because now they'll suspect it less, and they might think that I've waited to bet with my trip 10s. If someone has a flush draw, they might call. Yeah, that guy's all in anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, and he calls as well. Let's hope we get a diamond. A diamond, please. Diamond, please. Okay, no diamond. So what do we have? Nothing at all. Queen, Jack 10. Yeah, we missed the 9 to get a straight. We don't have a... And he's got a pair, so yeah, I lose. Crap. If I had bet, he probably would have folded. And it looks like I probably would have beaten that guy. Crap, a pair of 2s, really? That was enough to grab that pot. Maybe if I bet more it would have worked, but the only reason why I did it was because I suspected that they wouldn't believe me. He's gonna raise. Last time I did this to you, I had a pair of jacks. Ace 8. Call. Ace 10. Grab. Okay, we go back to 6K. I was doubting because... Oh, we split pot. Oh yeah, two pair on the table. Okay, I was lucky there. Gotta say it, I was lucky there. I've had some really unlucky hands before. Not really during the stream. But I've also had some luck occasionally, and you have to see it both ways, of course. You can't just always complain when you have a bad beat if you also have some hands where you get away with calling when you had a losing hand and then just be very lucky to catch something. On the other hand, at this point in the game, I wouldn't have been surprised if he had raised me with a weaker hand than that. Because any ace something hand in his position, I probably would have re-raised as well. Just don't let them steal your blind. And if he had even a high pair like pocket kings or pocket queens with ace something, you always have a chance if you grab that third ace. Because there's 5 cards coming onto the table, so the chance of catching an ace is not that small. I don't know the exact percentages of those matchups, but obviously if you have something like ace 8 and someone has ace 10 or ace jack or ace queen, If they also have an ace and their second card is higher, then you're in a very poor position. And that's something people underestimate. They think they have ace something and they think they're strong. Wow! Quad sevens! 27k! Tough luck for the guy with the ace queen there. Ace queen, get a full house and get beaten by quad sevens. Oh, I wanted to raise. Damn, I misclicked. Okay, hope he's gonna go all in. No? Please, someone raise. I didn't want to just call with ace queen. God damn it. Yeah, and now I don't hit anything and I'm weak because I just called. If I had raised, I could have just continued betting. Okay, so this guy is about my size. I'm gonna call, but not raising this misclick is bad because I would have been in a very that's better, much stronger position. I was about to say. Now he's may not suspect that I have an ace because I just called. Okay, please give me a queen. Please give me a queen. Ah, crap. That's a possible flush. I'm not gonna bet. King queen, ace queen. We got it. I think it was too tricky to bet there, because imagine with that flush draw on the table, imagine I bet and he raises me all in, then I would have been with an extremely difficult dilemma. While now I just grab the pot. Sure, I had a winning hand and you can say maybe I should have raised it, but I think the risk was higher than the benefit. So I'm glad I just checked. Wow, all in. K9 suited. Is this just one of these frenzies where someone... I'm not gonna risk it. You sometimes see that someone loses a lot of chips and then the next hand they go all in. Very often or not they just rage and then they go all in. But he could have a very strong hand at this point. It's always tricky. And he was relatively decent up till now, so I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he really had a strong hand. Let's not forget the previous hand, he had king queen. Oh, pair of tens. I like that. I like tens. Okay, let's just play our trick again, because last time we raised, he went all in. And we didn't have such a strong hand, we had something like ace-8. Let's see what he does now. He needs to go all in almost, so... yeah, he's gonna fold. I'm gonna show my tens. I wanna be taken a bit more seriously again, because... you can argue that maybe I should have slow played them, but I disagree. Because if you catch a flop with 10-10, there's overcards, you don't know if they caught something and you're always in a bad position. So I'd rather just bet them and grab those blinds than to go into a flop with them. In particular against such a small player on the big blind, if everyone has folded. You just want to catch that, you want to grab that big blind. It's 1k, so just grab the big blind. And if he calls, then you're still in a good position. And then I could even eliminate him straight away. But just calling and waiting for a flop, not with 10-10. If you have pocket aces, it would be different. Wow, full house. Cool. Well played. Yeah. This guy, the provisional, or no, it's not the provisional one. No, the provisional one's eliminated already. Yeah, he's silver. He's the lowest in the ranking, but he's actually the best of the other players as far as I can see. Or at least that's the impression that is given me during this tourney. It's the one I'm taking most seriously, at least. The guy next to me is not bad either. The one with the red hat? Yeah, I don't know. Okay, just give me your chips then. Am I in the lead now? Yes, I am. 21, 20, 13, 4. Another thing that plays as well in these tourneys is your ranking goes up even if you end second or third. So nobody wants to be eliminated at this point in the game. And you can use that to your advantage by... He's raising it. Yeah, let's give up our big blind for a change. Ace Queen, KK. Wow, what a matchup. I think KK wins. Two accounts? Yeah, it's possible, but... Oh my god. Ace Queen wins. I also would have grabbed the 2-pair, but eliminated with KK, yeah. The other hand, Ace Queen's a strong hand as well, but so yeah, you can use that, as I was saying, you can use that to your advantage. I'm gonna raise it. This is a pretty strong hand, but not good for actually raising, because what if someone goes all in? You don't want to call that with Queen 10 suited, don't you? Okay, we just got top pair with a good kicker. I'm gonna be a bit more aggressive again. 4.5, just size of the pot. He's calling. He's doing a bit of fishy behavior from time to time, but... Ah, crap. If he called with a flush draw, then he's an idiot, but... Let's check on this one. Let's see if he acts. He doesn't. Not another diamond, please. Okay. A queen would have been excellent. Okay, he just checks. He doesn't have anything. Oh, he's got also... Crap! Oh! Well played, buddy. He also had a pair of 10s. But a better kicker, he had ace 10 and he just called. So, yeah, this guy is not a fish, it's a slow player. It's really a slow player. He rarely raises, he just calls, even if he has a good hand. Because we saw him call with ace 10, we saw him call with king queen. So we should always be careful with this dude. If we bet, we want to make sure that we have something very strong, because otherwise we should be careful with our bet. Whereas this guy is more of a fishy type, which does give us a little bit of trouble if we end up in pots with both of them, because the way we should act is against this guy is exactly the opposite as how we should act against that one. So again, because I was derailed again with that pot. So yeah, if there's only 4 players left, people are thinking, hey, I should be careful not to be eliminated now, because then I will go down in the ranking, and if I can just hold out until someone else is eliminated, then at least I'm sure to go up in the ranking. He just calls again. If this was the other guy, I would have re-raised, but since it's the slow player, he might have something decent. And I totally don't. Okay, so no bullshit, no betting when you don't have anything against this guy. Okay, I now have an inside straight draw. Yeah, he's gonna bet. But he might be well aware of his image and using it now to catch this pot. But still, that's too much chips. I don't have anything either, and it's too much chips for a straight draw. So even though I'm not sure he had something strong, whatever he had was probably better than what I had, so he just can get those chips. Okay, we're back in last position, but the guy with the red hat doesn't have that much more chips. So second place should definitely be doable, but I'm not giving up on first place just yet. I'm gonna get him a bit more pickier about the hands that I play now. Although 8-5 suited, oh crap. I wish I hadn't done that. I should have called. I was doubting for a moment, but with the blinds going up, 12k, and how much are the blinds? 750, 1500 if I'm not mistaken, so that's quite a lot. Queen 9, doesn't have anything. Cool. Okay, well, it's going better than the previous games. Fold. I've been folding a lot lately, so when I bet now, they're gonna take me more serious, or they should. Whether they will is a different thing, of course, and that's a distinction you should always be aware of. Yeah, I would have hit a pair of aces, and then I would have called. If I would have been in that pot, I would have called his bet. Nice hand? Well, I disagree, but 5-8 suited, somewhat better, but 9-4. At least with 5-8 you can also catch a straight. Ah, crap. I wish I had 8-5 now. Ah, he's calling. Yeah, no one expects it. That's true, but a check and maybe a raise on the river. We bet earlier, so he might take us serious. It's risky, because I only have 6k left now. He folds, yeah. Well done, Twister! With absolutely nothing, we grab a 6k pot. Because it made sense the way I played. I bet half the pot size on the flop, as if I had something, but not something that great. I didn't bet anything on the turn. And then on the river, I bet again. And I was getting low on chips, so he took me seriously that I dared to bet those chips on the river. And he probably didn't have anything, or at least I sensed that this time he didn't have anything. If he had been slow playing again, which could have been the case, then I would have been in trouble. This game still can go any direction. A guy with a black hat definitely in a strong position, but he's got less than double the chips of me and the other player. So it looks strong, but it's not as strong as you'd expect. If someone of us goes all in, he calls and loses, then they switch position immediately. Then the player who went all in will take his position in chip size or stack size, and the other one, and he would go down. And whoa, this one grabbed a pretty big pot here. I'm gonna raise, been a while, not too much, 4.5. I've been folding quite a lot lately, so I'm hoping they'll take me serious enough. Ah, crap. I can't possibly call with king 6, can I? Let's wait long enough to fold. So at least they'll assume I had a good hand, but I'm thinking that he had a better one, rather than let them know I had a crappy hand like king 6. Okay, that's puts us in a bad spot. I still think it's defendable what I did, because I hadn't really bet a lot. Especially pre-flop, I had folded most of the time. You know, those 8-5 suited hands and those, all of those I just folded. I never called or bet. But of course you don't know what they will have. But I'm actually pretty decent at heads-up play. Don't forget, last season I was in the platinum tier in heads-up. I was in the top 5. No. And that does help in regular tournaments, because it makes the difference between ending often in a second or third place and winning, actually winning tournaments. Because let's be honest, ending in the top 3 is not such a big achievement to begin with. If you play very cautiously from the start, many games you can actually make it to third place without taking too many risks. Just play a bit safe, only play when you have strong hands and play them well. You don't need to be a poker pro to do that. But always ending in third place isn't that beneficial. Actually winning tournaments, that's the difference. Maybe less so in this game than in real money poker, because if you play real money poker tournaments, the first place is the one that grabs the big pot, not the second. It's good to be second, but you want to try to be first, definitely. You don't settle for second place. The real pros, they will not start to play more defensively to end, you know, on the final table or something. They will continue to play decently and try to win, because that's where the money's at. And if you want to be successful and profitable in the long run, that's how you have to do it. But lots of players, when a tournament gets into the final stages and they see that they are close to ending up in the money, they start to become very defensive. And that's when the real guys can actually make a lot of profit, just by just by banking in on all those cautious players. Haha, excellent. He goes all in. Does he have a tree of a kind? That's the question. Well, he doesn't go all in, but he forces me to go all in, pretty much. Because why would I call and leave myself with 2k? Either I fold or I call. Or I go all in, I mean. Yeah, I got him. Big time. About time I hit something decent. Because I haven't had many flops that helped me. You can argue about my game, but if I look back at my tourney thus far, I can't really say that I had many flops that put me in a strong position. And I'm now in second position. Yeah. This one still has more chips than me. The guy we assumed was a fish, but in the end, we might argue that he's possibly one of the better players at the table. Nah, not really. Yeah, a raise. Okay, he's not a fish. He's definitely not a fish. Well, dilemma 5-4. It's not a bad hand, but that's a big call. I'm gonna fold. I'm gonna fold. It's just 5-4. Oh my god. Inside straight draw. Yeah, but that flush draw is too far-fetched. I even have a straight flush draw, but a very, very far one. Queen 10. There goes our fish. I'm actually glad that the better player is going to pick up that pot. Yeah, because in the end, that guy is better than the other one. Queen 10 offsuit. Of course he's being aggressive, and in that sense it wasn't such a bad play, because with 3 players left and the blinds going up, you want to grab pots just by being aggressive. I'm gonna call with my pair of queens and hope that someone will raise now. They don't? Okay, but they won't suspect it. It's risky. Yeah. This is why I should have raised. This is why I should have raised. And now I should be comfortable throwing away my queens. How hard it is, and this is something a lot of players can't, but I have a pair of queens, and the best thing to do is to throw them away. 6k. The only way I can come back here is by hitting a queen. If I do, I most certainly can get him to go all in. But of course there's a possibility he doesn't have an ace or a king, but that's the consequence of slow playing my queens. If I had raised it, it would have been a different situation. But if you go for the slow play with a pair of queens, then you know if the flop comes with a king or an ace, or in this case even both, then you have to accept the consequence of your decision. You go slow play, be prepared to throw them away if you get beaten. It's harsh, I know. The alternative is to bet them pre-flop. Inside straight draw. How many chips does this guy have left? 13? I'm just gonna check. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna bet a little bit harder this time. 4.2. Let him think I have a flush. Because I checked. He calls. He could have a straight draw himself. Crap. Close to my flush, but I don't have anything. And he's gonna bet. He's gonna check. I'm still gonna bet. I think he will fold. Yeah. Oh, that was a close one. I wasn't entirely sure, but I had to bank in on my position. I knew if I was going to just check, at one, they would see that I had absolutely nothing. And secondly, I had no chance of winning the pot to begin with then. So I thought, and I was not convinced that he had something. He might raise me again, but he doesn't. Okay. What a pot size. Yeah, I was still in good shape. Aha! Okay, this is a hand to slow play with. 2 pair on the flop. Let's see, Mr. Fish. 4.2? Okay, maybe if he bets, we can re-raise. 10. Let's see what you do with this, mister. He could have a straight with 10-9. But I doubt it. That would be really... He calls? Oh my god. Oh my god, no, not a 9. If he just has a 10 now and nothing else, then I'm gonna feel really bad. Then I'm gonna feel really bad. Let's just bet now and get him out of here. If he just has a 10, I'm gonna eat my keyboard. If he has 10-9 and he had a straight already, then I will feel comfortable losing. Okay, he folds. I'm gonna show my hand. Just to show that I wasn't messing around. That was one of those typical pots where you feel like you could have lost, but not because the other player played better, but because they were extremely lucky. 8-9. I'm gonna raise. Because this guy is big blind. He's not gonna call. And if we end up had 8-9 suited connectors is pretty decent. So let's put him the dilemma to call or not. And he folds. There you go. Okay, this is starting to look really well. And you might have noticed that I started playing a bit more aggressive. And I believe you have to. Oh, my stack is bigger than I even thought. I'm almost at 40k here. And I have a pair of 6s. Excellent. They're no longer taking me too serious if I continue betting. So every time I get a good hand now, it's money time. He has 6 left. I'm just gonna raise him this time. Put him for the dilemma to call or not. Whatever he has, we have a chance with a pair of 6s. Queen 10, okay. This thing is pretty much a coin flip. And a 6. Yeah, we got it. He can't possibly win this hand anymore. Bye-bye. And that's another player eliminated. Because that's another reason to do it. It's a coin flip, but it's a chance to eliminate someone. We're the big stack. We could afford to lose. He couldn't. Oh. Ace 4? Okay, let's just... crap, he folds. Anyway, if he folds, he's gonna get smaller, even smaller. He already doesn't have anything to threaten me. 5k versus 55. We got this. Pretty sure we got this. Can't say that it was an excellent tourney from my part. I'm gonna win, but I don't feel like I played all that great. On the other hand, the competition was also pretty mediocre. There wasn't really any good players at the table. Most of them didn't know how to play poker, don't get me wrong, but Last two cards could have completed the straight. I haven't even followed you there. Oh, and that coin flip? Yeah, but coin flip we mean beforehand, not afterwards. It was a coin flip before the flop came. Of course, afterwards, when there's card on the table. Or you mean that I said he couldn't possibly win when I hit trips? He still had a straight draw, is that what you're saying? That could have been, I might have missed that. But still, then he needed two cards to be exactly how he wanted them. That's still a very unlikely straight draw if you need two cards. He's gonna call. Okay, let's see. For 8k, he's got the better cards. We have suited cards, suited connectors. Yeah, he's gonna win it. No, no, we win. Yep, finished. Yep, we get it. Oh well, we did it again. Victory is ours. I'm gonna take a break, and I think afterwards I'm gonna play another one. Ah, okay. 3-5 for a straight. So, I didn't see how much rating I got. That's just, we went back to 4th position. Oh, where does this guy come from? Matt James? Because this guy was in the lead. He was the only one with 1200. And there was like no one even close. And now all of a sudden this guy is in the lead. Wow. But you can see that here there's a lot of players, and I was in this group. A lot of players with only a few points difference. But the first 4 now, there's a bit more of a distinction from the rest, or even the first 5, yeah. Actually, mostly the first 2. They're really ahead of the pack. I played him yesterday. Did I? I didn't stream yesterday, Mosty. You mean last time I streamed? That's possible. But I checked the ranking, I think earlier today, and Thursday. I still sure that Matt James was not in the lead and was not even close to BZ Kill, or what's his name? Yeah, BZ Kill. BZ Kill has been on the top of the ranking for a while, and then there was quite a gap the last few days with the other players. When I played on Thursday, I might have to check the replay. I was, I think, in 2nd or 3rd position with 1168 or something like that. There were a few players in that ratings or in that range. So the others that were around here, they also went down, just like me. But I'm just climbed up again. That's good. So yeah, I'm gonna pause the stream, take a break, smoke a cigarette, grab a drink. And I think I'll play another tourney after this one, at least if we can get one set up relatively fast. If not, I might decide to play something else, but we'll see. Yeah. So catch you in a moment. Let's say a 10-minute break. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go.
Voor de mensen die van een ijskoude latte met 3 shotjes vanille, schuim van magere melk, sojamelk en die super schattige gekleurde hageltjes houden, deze is voor jullie. Met Premium kun je zo kieskeurig zijn als je maar wilt. Speel het nummer af dat je wilt, wanneer je maar wilt. En sla gerust nummers over. Het is de perfecte manier om jezelf op te fleuren. Krijg je eerste 3 maanden Premium nu voor slechts 99 cent. Maar wees snel, de deal is niet lang meer geldig.
Wil je elk nummer afspelen, wanneer je maar wilt? Luister naar Spotify op je computer en speel het perfecte nummer voor het perfecte moment. Vul je huis met muziek en geniet. Of niet? Probeer Spotify nu.
Um, yeah, well, I was thinking as well. Yeah, in about 50 games played, I won 30. Now in real money poker, if you play a 6-player tournament, the payout is normally 50, 30 and 20%. So I was just thinking, let's assume that I had played these games for real money. Let's take buy-ins of $10 or 10 euros or 10 pounds, so $10 buy-in. 50 games, that would have cost me $500. Winning 30 means 30 times I would have picked up $5. So that's a payout. What am I saying? Okay, I can't count anymore. I was onto something and I'm completely gone now. 50 games with a buy-in of $10. That's $500. In 30 of those games, I would have picked up $5. That's 150. I wouldn't have picked up $5. Jesus, Twister, learn to count. I would have picked up half the buy-ins, which is $30. $30. So 30 pots. Yeah, 6 players times $10. That's $60. So $30 for the winner. 30 times 30, that's 900. Plus the money I would have won from second and third places. So that looks like I would have gotten at least $1,000 with a 500 spent, so a profit of at least 500. Just nicotine. Yeah, it was just nicotine and tar. So that would have been pretty profitable if you think about it. On the other hand, if I would play badly or if it would go bad in real money poker, then I could have lost $500, which is quite a bit. But I am tempted to actually start playing real money tournaments. Not the big ones that I used to play, where you need to play a lot of games to statistically end up in the money, and you can easily play for several months these big tournaments and lose money while you're actually playing well, and it's hard to know whether you're losing because you're playing badly or because you're just unlucky. That's how it goes with tournaments with thousands of players. But if I would only play like 6-player tournaments like these ones, I'm wondering if I could make that profitable. And maybe I shouldn't do it with a buy-in of $10, but maybe just $1. So if I would play 50 games, that's already probably a month or two. That would just cost me $50. That's no big deal, and then I could see if it's profitable. If I also get the same payout as I have here with fake money. It's worth a try, I think. Let's queue up for another game and see. The only gold player. There might be a few silver players queued, so if we wait a moment, we'll see. So yeah, it is tempting to go back. Not for big cash, of course, but maybe just $1 games. And if we play like $101 tournaments and we notice that we're profitable, we could step up and go to $2 or $5. I wouldn't risk losing a lot, and at the same time I could see if I am still profitable when playing for real money. And if I am, then I would earn a bit of money. Why not? Because we're playing anyway. Considering how consistently I've been winning games for play money in the last 2 months. If you look at my stats, I mean, 53 games played and I won 29. That doesn't even count second and third places. I don't think you can see your stats on second and third places in the ranked tournaments. But I'm sure there were at least several second and third places as well. That means I'm definitely quite a bit above the threshold to be profitable. So even if I do a little less great in the real money tournaments, I might still be running a profit there. I'm not gonna get rich at that, but... And on the other hand, it might be easier to get games going. I'm not sure how popular poker still is these days. The real money poker, I mean. Because I played, but that's years ago. And back then there were really thousands and thousands of players queuing for tournaments. But I don't know if it's still the case in the present day. And allow me to read up a bit on the Discord while we wait for a game. I think it said for 53 played matches that you won 30. Yeah, that's exactly that, Ferolia. Yeah, I made the calculation with 50 and 31, but even with 53 played, I mean, it doesn't mention the second and third places, and even those 30 wins would be enough to cover the buy-in, and let's assume even a 10% commission from the host company that organizes it normally takes. I think it's a 10% commission. So if I would play a $10 tournament with a 10% commission, it means $11 that you pay for each game. So if I play 50, that's $550 that I would pay to play, and I would have to earn at least $550 to be profitable. If I win 30, then I already have 900. That's far above 550. And it doesn't count the 30 and 20% that you get for a second or third place. Reckon I could make it in time? Tempted to download and play it just to help stop those cards twirling around the middle of the screen. Ah, you mean join the ranked game here? Get Prominence Poker? Well, one player is not gonna make a huge difference here. We're still only 2 out of 6. I think Maisie already tried, but he couldn't run it very well. Throw you into tutorial? I don't think there is a tutorial, or at least I can't remember. Oh yeah, there is a tutorial, but more about the interface, not to actually learn how to play poker. Title screen hangs for minutes, yeah. Well, they did make some cute graphics and all. The fact that you have like a 3D environment around the table and you can move the camera around. It looks like they used the 3D engine to make the game. So yeah, shame Maisie. Yeah, I don't think there's any point in making a tutorial to learn poker. There's more than enough resources online, that's my guess. But the user interface can use some introduction, because some of the things are not that obvious. And I don't think the tutorial tells all of it, but like how to refill everyone's table item, I can't remember seeing that in the tutorial. I didn't use any taunts either. Maybe I should show that in the next game, because you can't actually chat, but there are some things you can actually do, like make a victory move, a little dance, or play with your coins, or actually even use as if use guns like you're shooting them, stuff like that, which can actually help from a psychological perspective, and I've used it to an extent to actually threaten people, or to have a bit of a victory animation before the pot's over, to all part of the bluffing or the not bluffing. That's the only thing I've been doing that much with the stream, is actually waiting longer with my timer on purpose, or less long on purpose, using these animations. I haven't done much of that because I'm mostly focused on the game itself, on the cards, but also on stream and talking a bit about strategy. And I have read quite a few guides and strategy guides on poker about different topics: psychology, calculating odds. I'm not gonna say I'm a pro, but I do know the basics, and I have read about quite a few more advanced strategy topics. But that doesn't mean I apply them optimally, because there's a difference between knowing some strategies, understanding them, and actually applying them correctly. First of all, my knowledge of statistics is too limited, and probably if you're a pro you should actually know by heart a lot of the percentages for common matchups, which is something I don't. Ah yes, that's true. It is a bit of a risk to stream the game live, well, not with play money, but it's the same thing when we play Chaos Reborn. I mean, if you're in the stream, you can see the other player's hand. It's probably more of an advantage in poker than it is in Chaos Reborn, because even if you can see the other player's hand, you still don't know what they're gonna do. But it jumps up and down. That's sometimes one player going out, checking the ranking, or visiting the shop, or even looking if there's anyone queued for head-to-head. And if they see there isn't, then they just come back here. I'm not sure if you open the info screen, if that also gets you out of the queue. I don't think so, because you can see it in the background. It still says 3-6. So yeah, last season I ended in the gold, where I am now as well. But in head-to-head I ended in the platinum tier, so that gave me a 500,000 reward. And 150 for the regular rank tourneys, so that's 650 that I earned last month from ranked games. And if you look at the current ranking from the current ranked rankings, then there's 2 players now who are just barely into platinum, like 1203 and 1206 or something like that. So diamond seems to be very far away and very hard to achieve. However, in the current head-to-head ranking, I believe that there are multiple players, or at least 1 or 2, who are in the diamond tier. So last season as well I was in platinum for head-to-head and in the gold for the regular, so I think it's easier to get into a higher tier when you play head-to-head. And the reason for that, I believe, is that there is more separation. There's probably more very low ranked players as well. There's more separation because it's 1 against 1, and the better players is more likely to win. Whereas in a 6-player game, I mean, if I'm the second best player, I might have to end up in a head-to-head against the best player in the early game and lose and be 6th. But I'm not the 6th. Well, I'm not the 6th most skilled player at the table, but I'm still in 6th position, right? So I think in head-to-head, there's more separation between the good and the bad than there is in the normal rank. Yeah, exactly, and you still don't know what they're gonna cast. You see their hand, but they just, yeah, you know that they might cast this or that. You know if they have a bolt, for instance, so there definitely is an advantage, but it's not the same as in poker, where you actually, if you know your opponent's hand, then you always win, right? You never call if they have a better hand. You always raise when you have a better hand. But as long as it's for play money, it's no big deal. The question is, of course, if I would start playing for real money, do I really want to stream that? Although one thing to consider is that there is always a delay on the stream. So let me check that. I move my mouse now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15. Yeah, about 15 seconds delay. A private stream. But even then, a 15 seconds delay might be enough. For instance, pre-flop betting. When a player sees my cards, it's maybe already too late to bet. Of course, if there's a few players between me and the player who watches, they'll still have the advantage. And by the time we hit a flop, of course, they would know my cards. So it would still be a disadvantage, but the 15-second delay would at least help a bit. I'm not sure if I could maybe add a delay in OBS. I haven't really checked that out, but maybe there is something that you can force a delay through the streaming software. Because if I would be playing for real money, that might be something to consider. On the other hand, my stream is not exactly on the Twitch front page. So chances of someone who is playing against me actually ending up on my stream is pretty small, I believe. But you never know. It could It only has to happen once and it would have an impact on my cash flow. But I think it would still be limited enough. However, if the poker streams end up drawing more people into my channel, then we have a different story, of course. As long as it's play money, I'm definitely not gonna bother. If someone really wants to cheat by watching my stream incognito and using that against me in game, I mean, how desperate can you be, right? For play money? Ah, yes, Atlas Reactor team battles. Good point there, Ferolia. Yeah, so I'm not gonna bother, but if one day I start playing real money poker again, I might add a bit more delay. Well, 5 minutes for poker is probably too much, but I think 2 minutes might be reasonable. You have to consider the betting in every round. There's still 6 players, so even if everyone takes 10 seconds, that's potentially 1 minute for each betting round. I say potentially because it rarely happens that everyone uses their entire clock, and usually not all 6 players are in a hand. Is it legal? Why wouldn't it? Well, I'm not a lawyer, Maisie, but why wouldn't you be allowed to stream poker? I mean, it's legal to show it on television, so why wouldn't it be legal to stream it on Twitch? You're not organizing anything involving gambling, right? You're just streaming. Yeah, incitement to gamble? Yeah, I think that's pretty far-fetched. Yeah, I know, Maisie, you do have a point. But at least Twitch has a poker group, and even if you like my stream now, I stream play money poker. Some people might still be tempted to go and play real poker from watching my stream. So yeah, game starting. Is that an incentive? I know the laws can be weird, right? I don't think it would be logical because I'm not organizing any gambling, and I'm not even trying to get people to play poker. I'm just playing, enjoying it, commenting and talking strategy. But I can imagine laws can be strange, so who knows? You might be right. It's legal to smoke weed on stream. Okay, good to know. Not sure if I still have some. But can you talk about it, Maisie? Or can you just smoke, but you're not allowed to talk about it? Oh, you're in game? I'm gonna call, even if I'm on the small blind. Oh yeah, Tutai, the noob. We have 2 gold players. This one's also in my friend list, Space Wolf. Oh my god, they're gonna raise and re-raise. Alright, I'm on the small blind. We have a bet, a raise and a re-raise. I'm gonna fold because they might continue to raise and re-raise. Now he just calls. Crap. Well, I'm fine if you stay in the chat, Ferolia, as long as you don't watch the stream. Listening to me talking might also be delicate. And I don't want to pay attention not to mention anything while I'm talking. That's a bit difficult. Even if I don't say my cards, I'm still talking strategy and talking about my strength. So, but I don't mind if you stay in the chat. But you probably already paused the stream. Yeah, you paused the stream, so you have no visuals nor sounds. So we have 3 gold players, then we have 2 gold players, 1 silver, and the others are all in provisional, so they don't have a ranking yet. You need to play 3 games first before you are given a ranking. And the other gold player, Space Wolf, is in my friend list. So I played him before, he's a good player. And wait, why am I on the small blind again? Wasn't I on the small blind in the previous game? I was, wasn't I? Because was I the big blind? Maybe I was a big blind because I could... No, because then I would have moved up to the first position. How's that possible? Oh no, I'm wrong. No, I was the big blind. Yeah, and now I'm the small blind. Man, is that the heat? I'm really talking nonsense here today. So yeah, Space Wolf over there is not a bad player at all. Not sure his current ranking. 1101, so he's just barely in the gold. He also went down. Lots of those higher ranked players have gone down, so there's some kind of a nivellation, do you say that in English? Where the difference between the better and the worst players is decreasing instead of increasing. Wow. He's going all in. 6-8. 10-9, yeah. Fish called until the river and then gets beaten by someone who already had a winning hand. Well, Fish, she had a pair of 6s with a pair of 10s on the table. He already had trips. She hit trips when he hit full house, of course. That shall teach her. That's one of the provisional players out. Alright, I'm on the button, so I'm gonna call. Yeah, but at the same time it's maybe open for abuse, Maisie? I'm not sure, and you know, in poker I can imagine people will come with offensive language and such. I'm not convinced it would be a good idea. Let's use some emotes. Tutai betting. I'm gonna applaud him. I just gave him a round of applause. I still have an inside straight draw. Still, it's just a small bet, 250. I'm gonna give it a try. Let's hope we're not taking huge risks here. And if we grab that straight, we don't. We could have won a big pot. I'm gonna check. I don't have anything. Would I dare to bet? Tutai bets for me. What do I have? Nothing at all. Either I raise or I fold, and I'm not gonna raise here with nothing. He had a 2 pair. Nice one. Well played. Not a big pot, but well played nonetheless. I didn't have anything, and I wasn't going to erase him. But if someone, even me, would have had a decent pair, he could have grabbed quite a few chips. Unfortunately, I didn't have anything, and the other player may be the same. I'm gonna raise it. Ace 10. That's not a hand to call. On the other hand, if someone re-raises, I might want to get out. Oh, 2 players calling already, including Tutai. Who are the others? Schizo, Zap, George. Okay, he called as well. Alright, not a good flop either. Risky. With 3 players in there, someone might have a 7. A jack is much more likely. Someone will probably have a jack. A 7, not sure, but they might have. You never know. Now, I bet pre-flop, so I'm gonna show strength. And I'm gonna show a lot of strength and just bet 1.4. Because if I bet less, okay, he raises. And you can argue that was a strange play, but at least you see people are raising and re-raising. So at least I have a lot of information that people have strong hands, and I can safely throw away my ace 10 now. Whereas otherwise, if I had checked, they might have slow played a bit more and I could have lost a lot more chips. Wow, Tutai, what are you doing? Oh, a flush draw? Yeah, but you don't call with a flush draw. He could still win, but then he would be lucky. And no luck, Tutai. Yeah. Bad luck that the guy had a 7, but yeah. The thing is, you can bet when you have a drawing hand. You can definitely bet with a drawing hand, but you don't call with a drawing hand. The guy, yeah, it was, but there was a pair on the table, so there was a chance that someone had a 3 of a kind. So when there is so much betting already, he had something, and you didn't have anything. You just had a draw in hand. You could have gotten a flush, but you didn't have it yet. So betting your opponent, a semi-bluff is what you call it. So okay, this is more than enough to raise it. You could have done a semi-bluff. So you bet as if you have something, but you don't. If everyone folds, you pick up the pot. If they call, you can still catch your draw. But with the betting that was going on, you should have realized that he had something strong, and then you could have just folded your hand, perhaps. Because you knew, when you go all in, you know that you have to catch your draw. If you didn't catch your draw, you were out. So the risk versus reward, and the odds of actually getting your draw, and how many chips you paid versus how many you could win. The only reason why we wouldn't call that all in is the only reason why you could have called it is if you are convinced that he also didn't have anything. Because you with your flush draw might still have the better hand then. Or did you bet? Did you go all in and he call you? Oh wow, we have a straight draw on both sides. Okay. So I'm gonna continue my... So here I'm gonna bet with a drawing hand. And the reason I do this is that they won't suspect I had a drawing hand when I hit my straight, because I bet. Okay, gonna check this time. Alright, well, not exactly a straight, but we have a pair. But there's now a flush draw, a potential flush on the table and a potential straight, so I'm gonna bet, but not too hard. Ah, crap. I'm gonna call him 600. Yeah, pair of nines. I imagined he didn't have the flush, but if he didn't have a 7, then he might have thought I had a pair, probably, because he acted a bit slow before he did his raise. But that's exactly the point for Olia. The acting slowly is exactly what someone with 3 of a kind would do. They fake a bit of weakness and they make you think that they're doubting. Well, actually they know very well what they're doing. Well, let's just go. I'm not doing too great here either. 6k. I'm taking quite a bit of risks by betting on pots when I don't have anything. Or nothing too great. I might have to do the same as last game and become a bit more conservative here. Yeah, this is just 200 in the pot, so why would I take any risks? He can have it. Yeah, you can have it, babe. You can have it, baby. Now the guy has a lot of chips now, but the other hand, he was helped a lot with the good cards. It's easy to win pots when you have good cards. It's a lot harder when you don't. KK? They're probably all gonna fold, but I'm still gonna raise. Now KK you could slow play. Oh, he calls. Nice. You could slow play KK more easily than you can Queen Queen. Still, an ace is pretty deadly, an ace on the flop, but okay. Tricky, because we have a straight and a flush draw. There might be even someone with a straight already, although it's very unlikely they'd have called a raise with 7-5 or 5-2. I already dismissed that possibility. He bets 1k. I have 5.5. I'm gonna go all in. He can have maybe a 2 pair or a 3 of a kind, but I don't think so. He's probably got a pair. He's got a flush draw. Yeah, another flush draw better. On second thought, he also had a straight draw. So he had a lot of outs. 2 more cards to come. A 7 would have given him a straight, a 2 would have given him a straight, and a spade, I think it was, would have given him a flush. So yeah, I'm not sure about the exact odds, but another KK. KK twice in a row. he's gonna take me seriously. But I think he has something decent. He hasn't been playing anything yet. I'm gonna show them, just so they can see how serious I am. Yeah, I get your point, Ferolia. You weren't just calling hoping for a you weren't just calling hoping for a flush. You thought that you might have the better hand already. Okay, let's just check this one. My question was, did you raise? Did you go all in and did he call, or did he go all in and you called? He's also very loose, the guy with the beard. Oh, we'll have an inside straight draw. Okay, let's check and see what he does. He doesn't have. He's also drawing for something, I'm guessing. Oh my crap. Let's just don't take too many risks. Yeah, he was drawing for something. And I'm in second position. Space Wolf over here has been playing very conservatively, really tight. Has he even played a hand yet? Yeah, but I think that's your mistake, because you already put a lot in the pot, but that doesn't matter. And the fact that you already put a lot of money in the pot, if you think you are beaten, then don't put more money in the pot. Which is very hard if you've already put a lot in there before, but don't get me wrong, I might have done the same in your place. It was a difficult call. But this early in the game, you shouldn't have, you really didn't need to take the risk. So going all in with a drawing hand was unnecessary, let me put it that way. At another stage of the tournament, it might have been different. I wish there was a replay. Do you remember how much you had put in that pot? And how much you had left? So you made the all-in. You made the all-in, okay. Yeah, that's more understandable, so that's a semi-bluff. You hope that he'll fold, but if he doesn't, you still have a chance to catch the flush. 2k left. But that also reduces the strength of your all-in, of course, because he knows you only have 2k left, so you have nothing to lose. I understand it was a tough call. Yeah, Night Mosty, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the rugby as well. Oh, it's so warm. That's really the annoying thing when playing in the evening. I can't open the windows with the lights on. where all the insects are coming inside. But with the lights closed, it's really heating up in here. Oh, we have our friend the Rock in here. Let's put in a relatively small bet. Let's see how they act. Is he on the blind? No, he was not. Okay. Okay, that's an easy pot. It's 2-7. Yeah, in the first game I actually raised with 2-7, if you recall. I don't know if you saw that. It's not uncommon for people to use 7-2 to raise. Because sometimes you want to raise when you don't have a super great hand. And 7-2, getting that is like a typical signal to yourself, like it's time to do a fake raise. Sometimes it bugs out a little that you click the eye and the player animation is looking at the cards but you don't see them. Which is a bit annoying. Because then you have to watch again and then it looks like you're continuously looking at your cards, which gives a totally different impression to your opponents. 6-8. Nah, not gonna bet on this one. Too many players still in there and I'm in an early position. Someone might be slow playing, too risky. It is a decently sized pot, of course, but we don't have any outs, so yeah. Yes, we do have an out. This one. Let's get out. 2-7. 2-7 suited or offsuit? Is it still a difference? Oh, Maisie, be right back. I missed that. Probably letting the dogs out. Aha, pair of fives. I'm not gonna raise it, just gonna call. I'm on the small blind. I'm in a bad position. It doesn't matter, either I hit my 5 or I don't. And I don't. There are no big cards on the table. I'm gonna bet. Not huge amount, but I'm gonna bet either way. And let's forget I don't have nothing. I do have something. Ah, there's now a straight door on the table. That's not so good. And a flush draw. He just checks. He's drawing for something, I'm pretty sure. And he probably didn't hit his draw, so let's bet 1.2. You're probably gonna fold. Yeah. Got that right. We read him correctly. So important, really reading your opponents. I've had quite a few games where I was with a very tough call and I made the right decision and I got applause from others. Like really thinking long and winning a pot with a mediocre hand, a large one, just because you really think about it and think, yeah, he doesn't have a better hand than me. He could have easily had it with what's on the table, but I was convinced I still had a better hand and ultimately went for it. with a relatively mediocre hand, but still the winning hand. And at the same time having a great hand and folding because you think you're still beaten by a better hand. Okay, this is tricky because we have a pair of aces with a king kicker, but he might be drawing for something, so I'm gonna bet relatively high straight away so he doesn't go fishy and get it like a flush. He's got a lot of chips though. He's going all in. What can he have? Pair of sevens, pair of sixes, a7, a6. I have to call this. Ace king? No way, man. I'm calling. King queen? You're gonna be kidding me. Oh no, don't let him catch a flush now. Oh my god. Okay, that's what we call a bad beat, people. He needed 2 spades. I'm gonna send a message to my friend in there who's still in game. But yeah, I'm not gonna start another one. Bad luck in this one. Let's check our ranking. It's still okay, we're still in 5th position, and here's, oh, my friend's already gone up. So yeah, it changes while the tournament's still going, I think. So he's in the top 10 now. Or back into top 10 because he was there before. And I'm still in 5th position, went from 4th to 5th position, no big deal. So yeah, it's not a big deal for my ranking. But I deserve to win that hand, and then I would have been the big stack at the table. I would be in the lead. And now I'm eliminated, so... I didn't go down as much because you were already out too tight, but there was already another, the girl at the start, so I was in 4th position, I think. So yeah, I didn't lose that much from my rating. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. And with this bad beat, I'm going to end it for tonight. See you around, folks, and until the next stream.